Watch Core TV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to Core TV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click Core TV, leave a space, then News. Core TV News, a 24-hour news station.
Thanks for joining us again. I also have here with me the public affairs analyst Adeyemi Arumolara as we discuss issues ahead 2015 general elections, a review of the presidential primaries. Thank you very much for staying the course. Well, there seems to be some sort of show of solidarity and commitment from other APC aspirants. For instance, Okorocha, a few hours after losing his bid for the APC presidential ticket, has last night picked the governorship ticket. The magic was that he was nominated in absentia. There was a son-in-law and commissioner for lands and urban planning who initially picked their ticket and just yesterday announced his withdrawal. Do you see all of this 4 other aspirants staying with the APC even after this particular election?
Well, you see, one thing, that's why I said if you look at the old processes, that is the events that undertook before the main primaries came up 2 days ago. APC sets a policy that look, all the aspirants, you must have an undertaking to abide by the decisions and the outcome of these primaries. It's a good approach. It's a good internal mechanism of controlling their own democracy, which I felt even they should sell out to other parties, and which I also felt they applied at the other levels, the various levels of the primaries, the governor, the parliamentary governor, primaries, and also on and so forth. So that actually gave a commitment to the aspirants, okay, that after the outcomes we are now binded by our words, our promises to abide, and it works well. So what happens at the states where Okorocha picked the ticket is not too different from how Tambua picked his own ticket. All other aspirants in Sokoto were stepped down. For it's a measure, application of a measure of internal democracy, which actually prevails there. So when you look at that, I think we should still give kudos to the party for being able to organize themselves in that manner. We are not hearing that there is any protest or objection to what happened there.
Look at the gap between Buhari and the next contender here, from 3,430 to 900, 700, and 974. Did we see this gap coming at all? Of course, there were talks about a consensus arrangement prior to this election, but did you ever foresee that there will be such thousands of votes between the first and the runner-up?
I expect it, because you see, the delegates to the convention already knew the pulse of average Nigeria on the choice of the party representative at the presidential election come 2015. So it's a function of, if you want us to join, support your party, if you want us to take your party serious, listen to what people are saying. And it is ordinarily, if there was no primary and the party stalwart had picked on Buhari, others will have said, oh, I'm perhaps more popular, more richer than you. Because we are made to understand that, okay, of them, maybe 2 of the other aspirants are more richer than the leader, the winner, that is Buhari. But Buhari seems to be well accepted by many people.
The initial fear from the Buhari camp was that primary election has a higher cost implication and that money bags seem to have the day. But do you see what actually happened? Was it that there was no money play, or integrity of the delegates supersede the
No,
the money game?
all factors played out. In black man's politics, we have politics of godfatherism. Forget it. The leaders of the parties are there. They play their own parts. Asiwaju Bola Tinubu will play his parts. He has in control a number of the governors. Oyegun is there. He has the control of one or two other governors. You pick them like that, they have control of governors. It's a matter of telling the governor this is where we're going in our own region. So they will do the spending. Okay. In the National Assembly, certainly. You see, those money will play its part, and there's no way you can keep money out of politics in Nigeria or in any of the African countries. So it's definitely played its part. But the integrity of the aspirant is very, very paramount. If the party knows if they want the support of the people, they have to pick on somebody that people will easily buy, that is marketable, that will project the image and hand the party respect. So that is where the choice of Buhari predominates.
Okay.
People don't know much about Kwakwanso. And with what is happening in the country, people felt, oh, we need an elderly person who knows the nitty-gritty of the country and who will be able to handle the country as regards the economy and the insecurity that is confronting the nation.
You think his age won't be a factor in the 2015 election?
I'm telling you, the age...
The man is 71 years.
Age is not a factor in Africa. Obasanjo came in at an old age. IBB wanted to come in at an old age. He couldn't get him. So age is not, but one thing that is important at this point to us, we had wanted to have a change as regards age, but we have discovered that you cannot throw away experience. Those who already knows the nitty-gritty of this country, who can handle the different crises. That is what people are yearning for now.
And you think that experience at this time is better than the youthful energy for Nigeria?
We need the experience now. We have tried the youthful energy, and it has not handed us anything better.
Has Nigeria ever had a youth really?
No, the present president. The present president is a youth. He still is around 50. So he's a youth.
It's all right. I'll confirm that subsequently. But Mr. President finally laid to rest speculations on the fate of his deputy, Namadi Sambo, picking him as his running mate for the 2015 elections. Many have said that for PDP, the coast is clear because they have a Christian-Muslim ticket. Prior to this time, there's been quite a lot of noise as regards the same religion ticket. Now, the general, Muhammadu Buhari, there are quite a number of names on his list as well, who probably might end up being his running mate. Do you see this religion issue be of any necessary impact on the outcome of the 2015 elections?
At this very point in time...
Just before you answer that, we have Alex on the line. Hello, good morning, Alex. If you're there, go ahead with the contribution, please.
Yeah. We thank God for having a ACC candidate. We really need change in this country. Really, definitely. Because if you see what is happening in this country, we really need change. So, we really thank God for having Buhari as a candidate. We know that he is the only person who can bring this change into this country.
I believe you made your point there. Alex, thank you for calling from Abuja. Good to hear from you. Please go ahead with the contribution.
At this very point in time, the religion's sentiment factor will come in. There is no doubt, because we are undergoing religious crisis, a crisis that started from religion perspective. Whichever way we look at it at this point, we need a party to give us a Muslim ticket, a Muslim Christian ticket, so that all the religious bodies, interest groups will rally around the party and say, oh, we have our interest.
You also
They're
of the belief
protected.
that the same religion ticket will not fly.
You see, ordinarily, at this moment, it won't fly. Because we are having crisis in the country that is religious a tendency. So in order to douse the fear that some religions are being sidelined, that some people are being silenced, then the best for any party is to make sure they balance the religious sentiment or factor. Make sure your representatives comes from both religious group.
Let's look at the lists that we have now. MCR, if you can get the Buhari's running mate graphics for me. We have Governor of Rivers State, who is also highly favored to pick the slot. But then there's also another name, Yemi Oshibanjo, a professor of law and former Attorney General of Lagos State under Tinubu. Kade Fahimi, the former governor of Ekiti State, is also being considered. And then we have Babatunde Fashola, governor of Lagos State, was highly favored to be running mate, but this issue of same religion ticket is also another major issue. There's also worthy of note, that other Southwest APC governors are all Muslims, making it politically complicated to pick any of them. But do you see anybody on your screen right now that looks like the APC vice president candidate? I understand that the Edo State governor is not on that particular list, Adams Oshiomhole.
Let me ask you first and foremost, how are you privileged to get
from?
the list?
Let's take this call from Moses, just a minute. Let's take this call from Moses. Moses is calling from Ikotu. Good morning, Moses.
Hello.
You know that the Freedom of Information Bill has been passed now, so I have the right to protect myself. Good morning, Moses.
Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, please go ahead with your contribution.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Thank you very much for this great topic this morning and contribute, because in this country, I believe it's our whole responsibility altogether to make a change.
All right, go ahead, Moses.
So, and as a matter of, I believe in this APC primary, APC primary, I'm so very happy, because why? Because I believe Buhari has all it takes to give Nigeria as in what we need at this part, at this point in time. As the gentleman sitting by you there rightly said, that Buhari is an experienced person which can handle the security challenges in this country and all other challenges that is facing Nigeria at this point in time. You understand? So, and I want to say that we should all do our best. We should all try our best to kind of support him, so that at least the change is going to affect every area. And this killing and all of that, I believe it will end by the grace of God. And please, I want to put something to your notice, please, because though it's a bit away from the discussion, it's as regards this bombing that is happening in the northern part of this suicide bombing. And I begin to think about something. It's like this particular issue have a kind of gone off the mind about these girls that we adopted, these Chibok girls. I recall, all this while, they have been using female bombers. It's telling me that these girls must have been the female bombers they are using. Nigerian government should do something about it.
It's all right. Thank you for your contribution, Moses. There's no way on earth we can confirm that, and we also are very optimistic that that is not the situation. Well, we're talking about the possibility of having any of these as Buhari's running mate.
Yes, in the first place, I'm trying to challenge you that how did you come across the list?
No, I also answered you that I have the right to protect myself.
Yes, you have the right to protect your source, and at the same time,
Let us call them media insinuations. Because
yes, let us
at this time we get a lot of
there's the
suggestions.
public insinuations that found its way into the media. But at any rate, you look at it. My own opinion, I felt the likes of Dr. Kayode Fayemi may not be suitable because at the moment he doesn't have a constituency, and anybody who is going to be a running mate must be able to deliver a good.
But at this time, don't you think that the mathematical calculations might change? Because for Ekiti people who did not want him as a second-time governor, this time around we're talking about at the federal level. For the local constituency now, the average Ekiti person who is from East constituency might be thinking that, this is a higher level. Maybe
we are talking of somebody who has not actually impacted on his people. That people rejected him from coming on for the second time. Now, has he settled with the people? Have they seen something wrong in this new governor they just elected, despite the atrocities that has prevailed in the shortest time? But what I'm saying is, now, the party, whoever they are coming up with, should have a good constituency to be able to deliver.
I see.
That is very, very important. And they should consider the kind of duties and responsibility that will be assigned. I know one thing, if the party comes on board, that is APC 2015, they have enough hands of very good and competent personalities that can actually work with the General Buhari.
Okay.
So that is no doubt. But whoever they are choosing, they should feel the pulses of the people, so as to be able to make sure that
you have your idea about Kayode Fayemi. Let's look at the four people on this particular picture. Rotimi Amechi, governor of Rivers State. I don't know how popular he is right now with his constituency. Maybe we might have to wait for the 2015 elections to find out if he wins, if his candidate wins that particular governorship position. But which among these people do you see quite suitable for the post?
Yes, you see, when we talked about the religious sentiments, so that knocks out Governor Fashola.
But apart from religion,
do
you see him suitable enough?
He's suitable, but because of religion. See, don't let us joke about that. Don't let us joke about Nigeria is at the very moment very sensitive with matter of religion. So let us try to satisfy the two major religious constituencies, so that we will be able to have an inroad into them. But in a situation where you seemingly shut the door on a particular religion, then you are joking with your chance. So I would not expect APC to come up with a Muslim running me to General Buhari. Otherwise, you will give opportunity to PDP that have chosen a Christian Muslim ticket.
But if we scrap the surface and go a bit deeper, does it really matter? I mean, someone like President Goodluck Jonathan, has he actually been a Christian leader or the Nigerian leader? Let's take this call from Williams just before you answer that. Good morning, Williams.
Good morning.
Welcome to Call Digest.
My name is Williams from Ado, Ekiti.
Go ahead, please.
Williams from Ado, Ekiti. Yes, sir, my contribution is concerning the issue of running mate. There's nothing, it does not have anything against Dr. Fayemi. We love him so much for something he's doing in Ekiti. We have to consider the character and the nature of Ekiti. Ekiti does not go to twice. That nature of Ekiti. We have Ekiti as a friend. They don't have the patience. But so as they don't like him, he is a man, he works a lot, he do a lot of job for us. But like the nation, he does not like somebody to continue ruling on them. That is it. That will happen, not just now. Look at the issue of Ekiti and the whole. That is the basis of petition. When you see Ekiti writing a petition on the issues, like they quickly set up on the issue of somebody. They don't like going somebody without. That is the nature of Ekiti. It's not as if he takes fire. He's a man, we love him so much. We have to start saying, but that is the nature of Ekiti. So, what is happening in Ekiti is just from the federal level. If I even comes around to contest, as I said, then it's still voting. So don't look at that aspect to judge that probably he does not have the constitution. He still has it. He has it because in fact he's on the ground. We love him so much because like the relation of it does not go far with somebody.
It's all right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your contribution, Williams. You see what I'm talking about? He's of the opinion that Kaya is first an Ekiti man, and that's what an Ekiti man would think actually. But beyond that, is it not also possible to look beyond ex-governors, sitting governors, to look into also one of the presidential aspirants that slugged it out earlier with the general? An example would be Rochas Okorocha of Imo State.
Yes, I was thinking Rochas Okorocha will be taken. But if we look at the characteristics of the party from their joining in the last election in 2011, they chose a technocrat.
Okay.
Then, so I foresee a situation where they may end up also on Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who is also a private technocrat, private sector. I mean, no, it's a public sector. He was the attorney for Lagos State.
Was he was a former Attorney General
for Lagos State, yes. So they may choose him. The religion factor favors him. But if I were to take my own decision, I'll say, oh, why don't we give this to them somewhere in the east? But other factors comes in. The third person in the country certainly will need to come maybe from the west, southwest. But do they have anybody that can fit into that when they get to that point?
I see.
So that makes it difficult for the southwest to concede.
You know, I told you earlier, if we were going to scratch beyond the surface, for instance, President Goodluck Jonathan has led Nigeria for over 3 years now. He's a Christian, but has he really been a leader for Christians? Has there been any religious sentiment attached to his leadership?
You might not see it, but the majority of Nigerians that are clamoring for it in one way or the other, they are probably feeling it.
Okay, let me just hold you for a moment to take this call from Jos. Good morning, Mohammed. How was Jos today?
You can hear me?
Yes.
I hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, Mohammed.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
We can hear you loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Yeah, so I want to concentrate on the issue of this running note for General Muhammad Buhari.
All right. Go ahead, please.
Are you there?
Yes, we're here. Go ahead.
Yeah, you see, when you compare the protection of God that will fit the general in the forthcoming 2015 election, my contribution is I could see Amechi, the present governor of Rivers State, to fit general as his running mate come 2015. And not even at it. One, PPP said that APC is a political party that is funded or is only meant for Muslims, which is not true. We've seen that, we have shown that, and we have agreed on that. And Amechi has been there for APC since the inception of their merger. He has been working tirelessly to make sure that this party, everybody has accepted and understands that this party belongs to Nigeria in totality, not as a fictional or religion party. So when you put Amechi, it will help the general to score votes from the South. And when you look at the national chairman, if I'm not mistaken, the national chairman of the APC comes, I think he's an Igbo man, if I'm not mistaken. And Amechi have been facing a lot of challenges from the presidency, and he stood on that ground and make sure he explains to the public, to Nigerians, that APC is a party that will bring change. It's not a a tribal party or any religion. It belongs to Nigerians. So my contribution is let the APC, hierarchy look at what Amechi has been doing. He has been undergoing troubles with the presidency. They have been trying to get him. If you look at what happened, there was a time they stopped him from going to the government house. There was a lot of things have happened because of APC. He has given himself for Nigeria.
Thank you very much for your contribution. That's Mohammed calling from Jos. I hope that Jos is peaceful this morning. He talked about Amechi. I was trying to look for an excerpt from the new book by former President Olusegun Obasanjo, My Watch, where he also talked about how the former Vice President Atiku had his eyes on his seat even from the onset of his administration. Do you think that APC would be able to give some of these politicians who decamp from the PDP to the APC such a powerful position in 2015?
No. Let's forget about decamping. The strength of APC today is as a result of those decampees. Ordinarily, the APC wouldn't have had national spread without their decamping.
Okay.
So if you try to categorize some of them, segregate them, then you want to weaken the party. So the party at this moment, I don't expect them to think about anybody. They should rather see them as a value-added group. And as such, they deserve to be specially treated.
Does Amechi, with his controversial and outspoken nature, does it fit well into that role that in Nigeria particularly has been playing some sort of a back role? That
is what should be appreciated the most. That is what you see. Amechi's strength has been able to give APC relevance in the South. Without Amechi there, definitely APC would be zero in the South. Amechi and Rochas, they deserved. I will suggest either of the two be picked.
The PDP has at a point in time described some of Amechi's controversial statements as treasonable acts.
It's normal. It's normal you expect a sitting government looking for opportunity to cage him, for opportunity to allege them of constitutional breaches and get him arrested. Okay. It is normal.
We have another caller from Ado Ekiti. This issue of Kayode Fayemi, I believe, is tearing Ado. Good morning, Wale. Wale, if you're there, please go ahead with the contribution. Are you there?
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead with the contribution, please.
As per the issue of the question. Hello, I'm talking.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. I advise that Dr. Kayode Fayemi is chosen as the running mate of Buhari.
No, we did not say that, Wale. Okay, advice. Okay.
Because you know that it doesn't.
I'm afraid we lost that. Try us again. When you call in, endeavor to turn down completely the volume of your TV set. Let's keep the conversation on telephone because there's a little delay between what we say here and what you hear and see on your StarTimes device. Thank you for your cooperation. Right. Let's move away from here a little because we have quite a number of issues to discuss. Earlier, we had a caller that talked about the issue of insecurity, which many believe has become one of the major challenges of Nigeria at this time. Do you think that what we really need is a change in leadership to make that a reality? Because as a matter of fact, much of the leadership that APC portrayed in their primary election are leaders in the North. And do they need to become president of Nigeria to effect a decisive change? As at the time that the Kano State governor was in Abuja, there was a sad incident, another bomb attack on Monday in Kano. General Muhammadu Buhari is from the North. Don't you think that if indeed this set of leadership has something to do as regards insecurity, is it impossible to have kick-started that process even now?
You see, the major challenge confronting Nigeria is corruption. Second to it is insecurity. Then economy is third. Okay. Because without stabilizing our security, economy cannot kickstart. And without checking corruption, you cannot actually take care of any other sector. You see, to handle the security challenges in the country, we need a change.
Okay.
A change to address the corruption that is threatening other sectors, security area inclusive. It is not just the corruption there. We have the leadership weakness. So what we are saying is we need a change for a government that will be able to tackle corruption. Ordinarily, we expect the military, Nigeria military that has been accoladed by the United Nations security arms, has been competent, dedicated, and effective, efficient. Now, not to be able to tackle internal crisis. So there is more to that. So that is where we felt, we need a change of leadership so that the military will be well repositioned to be able to tackle such crisis. Otherwise, if we continue at this rate, we are moving towards the brink of disintegration. So the security to tackle it in Nigeria, it is apparent to everyone that this present-day government cannot handle the security challenges.
Some are also of the opinion, I believe a dividing opinion from your standpoint, that if not for the character that the Jonathan-led administration has shown, maybe the situation would have gotten worse than it is now.
You recall the late General Aziza, the former, he said, before it got deteriorated into this, he said, look, Mr. President, this program you're talking about in your PDP.
Okay.
And as a matter of that, what the man got was a remover.
Let me hold you for a while to take this call from Benin. Good morning, Ogbeifo.
All right, thank you so much. Hello, Mr. May I greet you.
Good morning, Ogbeifo. If you're there, go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, I'm calling you from Benin. Yeah, my contribution to this your program today, I want to first and foremost, I think, make some correction to the man you have there in your studio there. The correction I want to make to him is that the Ado Ekiti people, know that man, they don't want it. We all know what happened. And even you yourself that is there now in the studio know what happened there. And I believe that problem is still on ground till today as we speak. When you want to speak on a national television like this, you should know that this word you just said is a problem, and I just pray that we should be able, we on our own should be able to take this problem and solve it within us. Thanks for that, please, next time. Now, I want to speak on this area of, you just make mention of if Muslim or thereabout. Now, I want to say that these days, Nigerians don't think about anything, whether they are Muslim or Christian. They just believe that if the person is good, let him be there. But recently, we discovered that it is very important that if a Muslim is ruling, at least the second should be Christian. Just the way the religion plays now. And recently, there's a question you asked there. And that question was that we have this administration now, which is the PDP. Has he in any way favored the Christian? I will tell you that I'm a Christian. He has favored us, and that is why you have that plane
in South Africa, if you understand what I mean. So the issue of that plane, I believe when you trace it, it happened to be a Christian story. So it favors the Christian, which is me. So I must tell you that. So you should use yourself supposed to know. I want to say here that for the APC, for God to touch the people there, to choose Buhari as the flag bearer of the presidency, to run as the candidate for president is a real development. And I believe strongly that this time Nigeria will not make mistake. Because I wish we still have our man there which happened to be Yaradua. Now with the situation that is going on, I tell you my brother, Yaradua would have become, because the man I respect so well. And during Yaradua time, that was when you have these 5 governors that have cases. And this care that we're having, you agree with me that then it was PDP that controlled this state. During Yaradua, they were able to capture this state. That is to tell you a man that is fair and sincere, truthful man. That is what we want. Not like a man that is causing confusion all over the country. I'm going to keep it for instance. So thank you so much. I love your program, and I pray that God will keep you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you so very much, Ogbefun, for your contribution. We appreciate you calling from Benin. Well, we're going to move to the last segment of this show. Of course, we welcome all your calls from across the country. Keep it coming. When you do, and able to turn down the volume of your TV set, just like Ogbefun did rather, so we can have a crystal clear communication. MCR, let me look for that package on Buhari versus Jonathan as we begin to find out what the chances of the general is in 2015. He lost out in 2007. In 1999, actually.
Yes.
I believe that he contested against
Obasanjo
Olusegun Obasanjo probably in 2000. Okay, let's get the statistics right in this particular package, as the stage again is set for a repeat of what many says happened in 2011.
Here's a rematch of old foes. Both of them squared off in 2011, and Jonathan drew the first blood. Who will draw the second blood this time around? Buhari, a former military head of state and retired general, has been the biggest bone in the ruling party's throat since 2003, when he first ran in the presidential race. Then he faced former President Olusegun Obasanjo in what was expected to be a very tough election. But at the end of the day, Obasanjo defeated him in what observers described as a sham of an election, while PDP scored 24,456,140 votes, representing 61.94% of the ballot. Buhari, as the candidate of All Nigerian People's Party, got 12,710,022, representing 32.19%. Buhari went to court, but also lost in the legal battle. In 2007, Buhari ran again on the ticket of ANPP, this time coming against his kinsman, Umaru Yar'Adua. Again, he lost, scoring 6,605,299, representing 18.72%, while Yar'Adua got 24,638,063 votes, representing 69.82%. Buhari challenged the result but lost in his case in court. In 2011, Buhari gave it another shot, this time as the candidate of the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC. He faced Jonathan for the first time, and while he did very well in the core north, Jonathan beat him around in the south and north central. Jonathan had 22,495,187 votes, representing 58.89%, while Buhari secured 12,214,853 votes, representing 31.98%. There was violence in parts of the north as results were being awaited, and hundreds of people lost their lives in the process, most notably members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC. He went to court and lost again. They are now going to have a rematch on February 14, 2015. This is Buhari's fourth attempt. He has failed thrice. Will he make it full-time lucky? The supporters are hopeful for the first time. The opposition in Nigeria is united. Three major opposition parties came together to form APC, thereby giving Buhari a broader national base than in the previous elections. The die is cast come 2015.
APC! Congratulations once more.
Okay, they said the die is cast for 2015. But then the amazing part here is some are saying this possibly might just be the last chance for the septuagenarian. He's 71. By 2015, he will be 72. Do you agree with that?
I quite disagree with that. In Africa?
You mean, peradventure, he feels he can still bounce back?
Yes, but I have a high hope that this man may win.
Look at the figures. The highest he had was in 2003 against Obasanjo, where he got about 42% of the vote. But he had never been able to go above the 12 million mark. The closest he had was in 2011 with 31.9% of the votes. Do you see him doing any better? He was beaten before.
If you look at what played out in 2003, they made a good substantive number of the Norths who still preferred Obasanjo. Are you getting it? So then Obasanjo was still their favorite in the North. But in 2007, the North had wished to control the power.
Okay.
And if you look at what PDP had then reduced from 24 million to 22 million, and what the general had increased. So the personality the general is contesting against is an important issue. And whether we like it or not, though people tend to disagree with it, that the Southwest played the prominent role to give President Jonathan, the victory in 2017.
Just before you go on, let's take this call from Warri. Good morning, Macaulay.
Right now, head of the you see, the issue has taken. Let me quickly come up to say that I really appreciate the primary being conducted by APC to choosing General Buhari as the APC presidential flag bearer. Because if you can see right from the offset, General Jonathan came into power, nothing has been done in this Nigeria area. If I win Nigeria, we will regret casting our vote for being vice president at that time, other than what is late president? I'm sorry for that. We regret him being the president of this country because so far he has not done anything good for the Nigeria. If you look at the East-West road, he's not even leading to his own state. Nothing has been done. That has been done for the past 50 years. And nothing has been done to that effect. So for even Buhari to call me as the APC president to come to 2015, we take that, we appreciate. And we thank God for that. And we pray that God will give him the strength, all what it takes to defeat him come to 2015. Thank you very much.
I believe you made your point there, but you also agree with me that Macaulay's voice is just one man's opinion. We might have to go to the polls to find out. But what do you think was responsible? Buhari's lowest vote was in 2007 against Yaradua. He had just 18.72% of the vote cast. Some have said that his strong point, which was northern Nigeria at that time, was divided. But then at this time also, we still have Namadi Sambo.
Namadi Sambo is coming as deputy vice president, not the substantive, not the principal. So when you're talking about controlling the power, every region wants to be the principal. Okay. So in a situation where a northerner is going to be the principal, you are going to see something different. And also the deciding factor is divided, the South. The Southwest is more or less sponsoring Buhari, projecting him. So you are going to see a situation where the chunk of the votes from the Southwest is going to APC, Buhari. And likewise from the North is going to the same person.
But the Southwest isn't as much under the grip of the opposition as it used to be even earlier this year, considering what happened in Ekiti. And for many also are of the opinion that the PDP candidate in Lagos is quite a huge candidate, even for the APC.
I would disagree. It is not just the candidates alone that makes determine a party success. The individuals, the personalities that makes up the party, the known characters and attributes of the party, the manifesto of the party, the previous performances of the party, the records the party has in stock to show.
Okay.
So invariably, you see APC, whether we like it or not, over sometimes they have been able to project themselves to be a good party based on performance that's on records. So that is why I'm saying, look, with the come 2015 and the presidential election, you are going to see surprises. You are seeing a situation in the entire state of Southwest. Maybe only 2 states are out of the grapes. And the 2 states, when it gets to presidency, I can tell you they have different views, different ideologies. Just like the guys from Ekiti that phone him now. If we see, you may as well say, oh, he's a lone voice. But we may discover that, okay, if it is true we don't have anything against Fayemi, and then Fayemi goes home and says, this is where we are going at this level, then you expect a sharp divide.
Let's take this call from Abuja. Good morning, Akobu Bureau. Quite a tongue-twisting name there. Go ahead with the contribution, please.
You make mistake with your O.
Are you there?
I am speaking from Abuja.
Go ahead, please.
About the current issue of who is going to take the ticket as a presidential candidate of Nigeria. I hope everybody is really very vigilant, watching how we are going. I am not against whether a Muslim or a Christian, but what I am against violence, killing innocent people, and other somebody who cannot bring Nigeria together. We want somebody who can bring us together, whether it's from the north or from the south. As the election is going on, we are monitoring. We are seeing how people are doing the election. Some people are violent, some people are breaking the law, some people have made the law. Even the people that wanted to come and rule us are even violating the law. And we are watching. And I don't know the hope of the common man. I don't know where we will hide when this time bomb will explode. Because if you watch, people are dying. Happening, somebody saying, I will stop. If you give me power, I will stop Boko Haram. Why not stop it now? Why not stop that Boko Haram now? Why not make this now so that it will be an example for you to come in, so that people will relax? But we are hearing every day, explodes discovered in this place. My brother, I don't know where we are heading. We will pray. I am praying, and we just pray for Nigeria because we are sitting on a time bomb. Thank you very much.
Quite pessimistic there, Akubura. Thank you very much for your contribution. I believe I asked you that question earlier. I'm not sure you answered it.
That's.
I mean, if everyone is campaigning with Boko Haram now, I mean, why not stop it now? For instance, the general is part of the elder statesman. He also has a stake in this, even in this present administration.
There is limit to the extent any individual who is not in position of authority can go when it comes to interfering with state activities. Are you getting? Let us be frank with ourselves. Except you hold authorities, there is a limit to the extent you can go. He is not the sitting president. He is a former president, a former general. There is limit to the extent he can go when he's not occupying, and there is limit to the extent the Boko Haram can go in negotiation with him.
So where do we get the idea that followership also has a role to play in leadership? The fact that you and I can be patriotic, and what we do even at our family and community level can impact ultimately on what transforms and transpires in the country. Would you say that as an individual who has such a leadership role in his community or in his state is absolutely powerless at this
No,
time.
when we say there is limit in the sense that you cannot go beyond certain bounds.
Have we seen at all any attempts from the opposition in the area of bringing up, not just talking about ideas, not just talking the talk,
You see,
but
my brother,
it?
let us get it. Boko Haram issue has been politicized. The other time, Mr. President went to Chad, and there somebody who is being alleged of being the sponsor for Boko Haram was seen seated with Mr. President, was seen and shaking with Mr. President. Okay. And people were raising questions. This is the person everybody is pointing fingers at, alleging to be behind the Boko Haram sponsorship. Nothing. So, you see, of a truth, what we all know today is that nobody will understand how Boko Haram insurgents can overrun Nigeria military armed forces.
That's all right. We're rounding up now. We're just going to take one more call and find out what part of Nigeria that call will be coming from. What are those factors that you think would impact on the result of this coming general elections in 2015?
Well, I think fairness on the part of INEC. INEC should really go out.
How much faith do you have in INEC now?
At this moment, INEC can have as much as 50%, because the election they conducted in Anambra State, the last election was terrible. So when we look at it and some other ones, we can say, man, the confidence is not so high, the trust is not so high in INEC. So we are hoping that INEC will go all out to really secure the peace that we needed.
Just a minute, let's take our last call. It's from Imo State. Good morning, Favor. Favor, go ahead with the contribution, please.
Good. My name is Favor. I'm calling from Imo State. I want to thank you for the wonderful work you're doing there. And your resource man, I want to also thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. You see, my own opinion about this whole thing is that if the hand of a strong man is not in this Boko Haram, it would have been over by now. And there's no way you can fight a corruption with corruption. It takes a man that has the willpower, the man that is disciplined in himself, and that can only be found in part of this moment. The Nigeria of this day, the Nigeria of now, does not need this kids playing of a thing. It needs somebody with a strong will. And the only man for that job for now is Buhari. That is why they want to rubbish this man's integrity with this Boko Haram. And because if you and I will agree with me that if Boko Haram is the issue of an opposition, by now it would have been a forgotten thing. If it had been an opposition something, by now it would have been a forgotten thing. But because the people behind the thing are the same people that are crying foul, that is why it seems to be impossible. You can just look at Nigerian soldiers that are going outside country and keeping peace in other nations. They are running for this same Boko Haram. And there was this report that before every strike of the Boko Haram, the army people on that we have information. Everybody got this information. They got it from Buhari, they got it from competition. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. Let's just tell ourselves the truth. Nigeria needs some who is personally disciplined to the core. And
it's all right,
man that can take Nigeria off from this man.
I believe Favor made his point there.
But as for the vice president,
okay,
I think they should consider him because they have done much.
It's all right. Thank you very much, Favor, calling from Imo State. Let me just have your closing remark. You were talking about the factors that would impact the success or otherwise of this election in 1 minute.
So we said the INEC, their role is very important. Then the sitting president, the use of the armed forces. The use of the armed forces is very, very important. We will not be looking out for the time when the security agents will not be used to ensure peace, rather to the advantage of a particular party and disadvantage of others. Okay. Then the religious leaders and everyone, we should all set out to be optimistic that 2015 will be violent-free. If primaries can be like this, successful, then we are looking forward to 2015 to be a successful outing for Nigeria.
Adeyemi Arumolaro, Public Affairs Analyst, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
On Call Digest. A big thank you to Ogbeifo, who called it from Benin. We had a call from Adui Kiti, Williams and Wale. Well, thank you for your call. Mohammed also called from Jos. We had Alex from Abuja, Moses from Ikotun, Lagos. Macaulay called all the way from Warri, and Akuburo called from Abuja. Our last caller on the show today was Favor from Imo State. A big thank you to all of you for watching. Cold Digest continues tomorrow. The events of the last week and of course the days ahead. Just prior to yesterday, I've not only shown to Nigerians that internal democracy is possible, but it has given a name to some of the elective positions in the 2015 general elections. So some are saying now that it's Buhari versus Jonathan. I am very optimistic that we'll talk much more into details as we get all of these developments as the show continues next week. Don't miss out on Cold Digest Extra on Saturday. It's kickstarting 9 o'clock on the dot. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. Stick around for the top of the hour news.
From time immemorial, women have birthed life, shaped character, and by extension, influenced the society. Moremi of Ife, Emotan of Benin, Queen Aminat of Zaria, all women of influence and power.
Whether it's before election, after election.
How ironical. Women being so powerful, yet have few grounds in decision making.
They see you as a wife, and I see you as a wife to a man.
We are talking women in politics.
A woman will be bold enough to stand up and say, I want to become president of Nigeria.
Only on Core TV News.